Hey everyone, Ryan here, and it looks like the LEGO Star Wars helmet collection is finally complete, having been entirely replaced by the Starship collection for 2024. This means running from 2020 to 2023, the helmet collection saw just 11 sets, leaving a lot of fans wanting more. But given there is some finality to the collection here, I wanted to rank every set from worst to first to find out what's good and bad about this series. Starting out at number 11, I choose you, Dark Trooper, and for one simple reason. Well, one, I don't love the way the top of the head looks, but LEGO said this was the helmet collection, and the Dark Trooper is a droid, and then when they were asked if they would do characters like C-3PO, they said no droids, but then they did the Dark Trooper because it was cool. I don't disagree, Dark Troopers are cool, but it's not a helmet for the helmet collection if you're going to be so strict about it being a helmet-only collection. Now, as far as what I didn't like about this character, it's really the whole top of the head. I didn't love how many exposed studs there were. It's kind of ironic because a lot of the other characters have a ton of exposed studs on the top, and I think they look just fine, but I think it's because this one doesn't have any exposed studs below that head, basically. It goes from completely tiled off to completely open stud, and it's like a total 50-50 look, and unless you're mixing it in, it's probably not going to look good here, so I don't love that. The one highlight maybe to me was the angle that they put this one at. All the other helmets sit flat on their stands, but this one sits at a slightly forward angle to make the Dark Trooper look just that much cooler. So I did appreciate it at least for that, but yeah, it's not a helmet, so could we even rank it in the helmet collection? At number 10, I've got to go with Darth Vader. It ended up being the most expensive helmet in the collection, coming in at 80 bucks, so I just thought it was too much money to begin with, but if you're going to charge that much money, you got to at least get Darth Vader's mouth right. His mouth has only half of the breathing thing, and the other half is just completely missing, so it makes him look like a chipmunk. They could have just printed it and it would have looked way better, or they could have put a sticker on the 1x4 below it. I don't know. I really don't understand what the holdup there was to make Darth Vader look as good as he could. It's freaking Darth Vader. Like, they put a triangular sticker just below that. They needed a triangular sticker above that, and they didn't do it, so not a fan of that. Overall, depending on the angle, outside of the way the mouth looks, I thought this helmet looked really good or really bad. It has a nice duality to it, so I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of the Darth Vader helmet. I didn't think this was obviously a top-tier helmet, so it's getting thrown down at number 10. At number 9, I'm going with the Mandalorian helmet, and this one I think has an interesting mix of silver and light gray that a lot of people either love or hate. I'm very in the middle with it. I like that they use a little bit of that drum lacquered silver. Of course, I would love if it was all completely silver, but it is also just kind of a nice touch. The top of these helmets will also always look kind of weird if you really are looking at it. But my biggest gripe with this helmet is when you compare Din Djarin's helmet to Boba Fett's helmet, Din Djarin's like black visor, when it runs down the middle, is supposed to be thinner than Boba Fett's, and this one is actually thicker. And this set came out after. They had all the opportunity to compare what they had previously done, and they didn't do that. So I was not a fan of that at all because it's just plainly inaccurate, and you know, they're trying to make these accurate. I did like the contouring on the cheeks for this guy. I think that was one of the real highlights for the Mandalorian, and like the eye area looks really dang good. So overall, it's a pretty decent helmet. It just doesn't beat out some of the better ones, I think. At number 8, from the original wave of the helmet series, we have the Stormtrooper. And this one I could have easily seen myself throwing below the Mandalorian, but it's the Stormtrooper, and I think it actually looks really, really good. It has a lot more open studs than maybe some of the other builds, a lot less tiled off, especially in the cheek area. There's just so many studs showing through, but I think that's a unique look for it, and it looks pretty dang good. You have the mouthpiece, which is a couple of stickers and a couple of printed pieces. It's a weird combination, but I, again, don't understand why they couldn't do a combination like that for this Darth Vader helmet. It's exactly what we were looking for, to have that continuity of the, same exact design, basically, just some black and dark gray striping, and they did it very well on the Stormtrooper here. I also think the eye shape was pretty dang good on this one. The back of the helmet looks all right for being the back of a Stormtrooper helmet, and I guess I didn't say it up front, but the stands for all of them are the same except the Dark Trooper that has that slight lean to it at the top, but otherwise there's a lot of continuity across the line here. So you got the Stormtrooper here, pretty dang good one. Moving on to number 7, we have the Princess Leia Bouche helmet. This one is an interesting one. It's probably one of the most unique looking ones, if not the most unique looking one. I mean, most of these are trooper helmets outside of Darth Vader for the most part, technically the pilot helmet, but this Princess Leia Bouche helmet is truly one of the most unique, and given its color, its shape, it's got a lot going on that makes it look particularly particularly cool. I do wish the color for the weather stripping on the top was a little bit more accurate. If I remember correctly from when I first got and reviewed this, there was just some like weathering detail and things that felt like they were missing with this helmet. But overall, looking back on it, I think this is also a very good one. If you can't tell, most of these helmet sets are pretty good. Even if it's lower on the list like this Bush helmet, this is a fantastic helmet set. It just doesn't beat out the others. This one easily could have gone higher, but at number 6, we have the Captain Rex helmet. And the reason it's so low is its mouthpiece. The mouth is frankly just tiny. I'm not here to say that there could have been a better design, but the Stormtrooper mouth is larger like it's supposed to be, so I'm not really sure why Captain Rex's mouth had to be a tiny little mouth there. Otherwise, they did a pretty bang-up job with this one. Some of the welding lines are quite interesting, using stickers here as it crosses over with different angles. Trying to complete that look must have been a bit of a nightmare. The blue on this guy looks phenomenal. I just love this blue color for Lego for Captain Rex. I really think it looks great. And then you actually have some of the tally marks represented on the helmet, as well as the rangefinder, which is functional. So you can just push it down and the rangefinder will go right in front of his face, and it's in the right spot. What do you know? It's fantastic. So love that one. And overall, I think the Captain Rex helmet is very good, as long as you're not too aware of the fact that the mouthpiece is too dang small. At number 5, we have what is the rarest and most expensive of the helmet sets in the TIE Fighter Pilot. Now, it's particularly rare because it was one of the first 3 released alongside Boba Fett and the Stormtrooper, but those aren't rare nor expensive compared to this. This one's really only expensive because it was only sold at Target. Now, it was also sold at Lego stores and in other countries. It wasn't like Target was the only carrier and there was a particularly limited number, but a lot of people just passed it up, or maybe, you know, more casual fans didn't know it existed because they didn't go into Target. They went into Walmart for their sets or whatever. So this type of thing just kind of went under the radar, and then as soon as it retired, it skyrocketed in value. He's got these unique printed pieces on the helmet with the Imperial logo. I think they look incredible in this set, and they are another big reason that it is so expensive, because they're only in the set, and for people trying to get, you know, all the parts together for this, they need to get these, and, you know, therefore that drives up the demand. Now, you'll notice some shared design aspects between this and the Stormtrooper, of course, given they were released at the exact same time, and they're basically the same helmet with a few modifications to this one, and so you'll see like the same mouth design and everything. I think that's really cool to see them just be the same as they should, you know, unlike the Mandalorian helmets where they kind of mixed up the way that things should be. I feel like the Stormtrooper and TIE Fighter pilot helmets are a good example of, like, you know, doing it right as far as, you know, referencing one helmet to another and having them be accurate to each other. So I loved that. And then the little tubes running down from the helmet are a fantastic addition to this one. It's something that, yeah, maybe they could have got away with not having, but having them come out of the front of the helmet looks so cool and adds another dynamic to this one that just isn't present in the other helmets. Number 4 is the cheapest of the Lego Star Wars helmet series. This one only cost $50. Every other helmet set you see here costs at least $60, and honestly, you could make the argument, and I very well could too. I thought about it. You know, this might be the best looking helmet set. It's really good. It's small but accurate. They did a really great job with the visor. They've got a little sticker for detail on the top. You've got the little mouthpiece area. Looks great. Just nice contouring. The shape is beautiful just overall on this thing. Even the back of this helmet looks better than some of these helmet sets do on the front. So I think this is one of the best and very well worth owning Lego Star Wars helmet sets in the collection. Like, it's really one of the peak helmets. Now at number 3, we're going back to the Clone Wars with the Phase 1 Commander Cody. This one doesn't suffer really from the same issue as Rex, where you had a really small mouthpiece. They were able to extend it a little bit more, so I did appreciate that. A lot of the shaping and contouring on this, while maybe a bit messy, it gets the job done. There's just a lot of small pieces in here to get it to shape out correctly. I love the visor on him. Then we have the orange fin. That looks fantastic. And then you've also got the antenna. Now it can sit vertically, or you can move it, but you're not really going to move the antenna into a different position. You really just want it to sit vertically, but, you know, you have the option to display it however you'd like. I also really appreciated that the side of the helmet has a slight angle to it. Just, again, something that gives it a little bit more detail. Maybe they didn't need to do that, but again, like, just going the extra mile, making it as accurate as possible is always going to be appreciated. And to be fair, it's somewhat expected given the price and age range of these sets. At number 2, this one might be the most controversial on the list, but I am a really big fan of the Luke's Pilot X-Wing helmet. I know this one is really split. A lot of people don't like it, but, you know, that's not gonna change my enjoyment of it. I love this thing, and I love that they've got the orange visor built into the helmet, the little microphone that comes out in front, the chin strap. Definitely the microphone and chin strap, sure, they could have gotten away without having, but it really kind of completes the shape of the front of the helmet, and I think you could not have a very good helmet set without it. I think another real highlight to me is the like ear cushions inside. I feel like that goes really underappreciated on this one, and they look really, really good, and they even have the hole cut out for where I assume sound would come into your ear if it was basically headphones. I assume that's, you know, the function it serves. Then on top, we do have some stickers with some yellow and white striping. Then we have printed pieces, just like we did on this TIE Fighter pilot, and you can see this time it's the Rebel logo, so that looks pretty dope. And then finally, there's even more printed pieces on top. It's just so they could have the white stripes on top without having the side of it be white as well, so you can still have the big red part on it, and then you have the yellow tube to have the yellow stripe represented. So there's a lot of different techniques and fun stuff going on with this one. All of that, and I still haven't even talked about the sides of this helmet. It's another very nice printed piece. You can see kind of a yellow stripe underneath it, and then there's even more stickers adding more detail on there as well. So I obviously think this one is amazing. It's fundamentally different than all of the other helmet sets, and maybe that's what makes it stand out to me, but regardless, I really, really like it. Now, the number one helmet from the LEGO Star Wars helmet collection, potentially ever, we have Boba Fett. I think this guy is amazing. The sand green on him is just beautiful. There was a time when sand green was not that common, like 10, 15 years ago. So I still look at sand green, I'm like, ooh, I remember the time where that was cool. And it still kind of is cool, obviously, because, you know, it looks nice to me. Got a nice, you know, bit of dark red in there as well. And then, of course, some black to help, you know, have the visor color and everything. So I think all of that looks really nice. And then, of course, this one was released first. So in a vacuum, it's not wrong that it is thinner than the Mandalorian helmet, even though it should be thicker in this middle section here. So I obviously fault the Mandalorian helmet for that. I don't fault the Boba Fett helmet. We've of course got the rangefinder, and just like Captain Rex, you can push it on down, and I think it looks great in the down position, but I prefer to keep it up. And then on the other side here, we've got these yellow stripes kind of painted on. That looks great. And then we've got the blaster mark on top of his helmet. So that extra bit of detail that you would be looking for is there, and that's awesome. So I think he's the best LEGO Star Wars helmet set. He maybe doesn't have as much going on as Luke or maybe some of the other characters with sticker details and stuff, but this is just a good, clean, in fact, I don't think this has any stickers. Yeah, it's just a good, clean, true LEGO helmet set. So if this is truly it for the LEGO Star Wars helmet collection, I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed. I would have loved to see more niche helmets continue to come out. I mean, it took years to finally get prequel LEGO Star Wars helmet sets after just doing original trilogy, you know? And so they finally do some, and then the line ends after 2023 there. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that. Definitely would have loved to see more different clone troopers, more different anything, really. Like, there's so many other characters that you could do helmets for, but you know, every single one further down the line is more niche than the other, I suppose. But still, like, I think there was a lot of opportunity with this line, and potentially in the future, opportunity with this line to bring it back and do more things and maybe change a little bit of the, you know, thinking there with it just being helmets. You did a droid, you may as well do C-3PO and General Grievous and all of the other things that fans clearly would want. You know, that stuff would have definitely been nice. So as much as I love MIDI scale, now the Starship collection that has replaced the helmet collection, I will definitely miss the helmet collection. So let me know what you think about these sets in the comments section below. It's been an enjoyable 4-year run for them, and it's just sad to see them go. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.